Hey, what's up everybody? It is Uncle Mad here today, Sunday, March the 12th. Got a lot planned for the day, should be a fun day. We are about to watch the kickoff of Manchester United against Southampton. Chance for United to get a little bit of redemption, a little bit of steam back in the Premier League after getting stomped 7-0 by Liverpool last week. You got to watch me go through all the emotions on that one, so hopefully we get to go through some positive emotions today in this one. I mean, Southampton, bottom dwellers right now, struggling, but, you know, they've beat City already this season. They got James Ward-Prowse, who's deadly from free kicks. I'm honestly shocked he stayed at Southampton as long as he has. I can't believe like a bigger club has never been able to pry him away from Southampton, but we'll see what happens there. We've got the Oscars later tonight. If you didn't watch my Oscar prediction video, I did a full prediction video of the Oscars, even though I haven't seen a single movie in the history of the Oscars. So what I thought I'd do after the United game, I'll randomly select one of the movies to watch, and I'll actually watch an Oscar movie so that I won't be going in completely cold, and maybe I'll learn something and figure out if my predictions were just completely off or not. So we'll randomly select a movie to watch, then we'll watch the Oscars and react to that live. Who knows what else might happen today? Some fun stuff. The dogs are here, the cats are here. You never know what's going to happen in this house on these days. Kickoff underway, United and Southampton. Southampton have quite a bit of possession to start out in this match. It's kind of reminded me of last night's Nashville SC Club de Foot Montreal match. There was, NSC was pretty comfortable in the match, but there was a few stretches where we gave way too much possession to Montreal for my liking, and you know, for me that's a quick way to let a less talented team steal a game. Let them hang around, give them too much of the ball. You could, they nick one goal and suddenly you're in trouble, and that's where it kind of feels like with United right now. Nashville SC survived. They eventually got the second goal from Taylor Washington late that sealed the match, but there was definitely a stretch in the second half where I was getting a little bit nervous about how much of the ball Montreal had, and definitely feeling that with United right now. It's crazy for a cross into the box to be too high for Wout Weghorst when he's like 9 feet tall. Might be the least aerial efficient 6'8" striker in football history. Oh my God, wow! Golly, man, you cannot get a more perfect laid out on a silver platter delivery. Luke Shaw puts it directly on Wout Weghorst, and it just hits him. He didn't really strike it. He just like me out there, just like letting the ball hit me in the face as opposed to actually like striking through the ball and putting it on frame. My gosh, I was really hoping his goal against Betis was going to like unlock him and really get him going. Like you could see the relief and like how much getting that goal meant to him. But he looks like more like the same Wout we've been seeing today. And now Casemiro goes into the books. Book. I don't know why I said books. Just there's only one book. Whew. Casemiro's probably lucky there. If his boot's any higher, it's probably the this color card, not the one he got. So I'm sure VAR will have a look at it and think about it, but didn't look high enough for a red to me. But
I think he's going to recommend that Anthony Taylor has a look.
Yep, VAR is going to have him have a look. Yep, we might be in trouble here. And now on that slowed down replay, it definitely is higher than it looked. He gets the ball and his foot kind of goes up because he bounces off the ball. So he didn't necessarily come in high, but the ball kind of knocked his foot up. I think we're in trouble here. This is going to suck. This is gonna suck. We saw what happened last time Casemiro was out for 3 games. How that kind of unsettled us and took away our control in the game. And Casemiro's been sent off. That sucks. And he's devastated by it. You can tell he's upset. That sucks. Another 3-match ban incoming for Casemiro. This one probably a little bit more deserved than the last one. Fudge sticks. Come on, guys. Sucks, because there was no intent there. He wasn't really, it's just... He goes in, he hits the ball, and his leg almost skips up off the ball, and it hits the shin. God, it sucks. It's the right decision, but man, that one sucks. God, I didn't even think about this, but not only do we get the red card for Casemiro, the foul itself is in like perfect range for a James Ward-Prowse special free kick. Here it comes. Golly. De Gea's reaction on that just terrified me, because De Gea did that little freeze, like, oh crap, I'm beat thing goalkeepers do. It wasn't far off. Did that hit the wall? It looked like it deflected off the wall and almost curved the opposite way of where De Gea was going. That was close. I'm going to say United are in trouble now, because we were struggling to get control of the game as it was, and now down a man, and that man being the guy who usually gets us control of games. Not good. Not great, Bob. Insert that here. Not great, Bob.
Not great, Bob.
The other bad thing about Casemiro going out was we went with a more attacking midfield around him. We have Bruno and Sancho essentially as the 8 and 10. So now we've got, we didn't play Fred from the start like we have been. So now we have nothing resembling a holding midfielder out there. Nobody any remotely close to being a 6. Like, if Bruno is your best defensive midfielder on the field, that's problematic for sure. And I'm out of coffee. Look at this mug. It's a custom mug. I don't know if you can see it because of the glare, but... Nope, it's not going to focus. But that's my name and number on the back of a United jersey on my Manchester United mug. Bruno's breaking in the box, goes for... I mean, he gets the man before he gets the ball. He gets the ball, but he gets Bruno first. That's a penalty for me. You can't go through the man to get the ball, so that's a penalty for me. I mean, we're not going to get the benefit of anything like that. VAR doesn't ever work in our favor anymore after all the times Jurgen Klopp cried about VAR calls for us. After everybody cried about that Rashford goal against City, or the Bruno goal against City, That was the last time we were ever going to get a VAR card. That was, I mean, honestly a straightforward penalty to me. I don't know how they don't change that. The more replays they showed, the more that was pretty much a straightforward penalty to me. I mean, he just slid right through Bruno's legs and then got the ball after he knocked Bruno down. So I don't know, but whatever. That's, oh my God. He's just determined to not call anything for United today. Anthony Taylor's just not going to call anything today. Unbelievable. Blatant handball in the box. I got to see the replay on this one. I mean, he's looking at it. He's just like wants VAR to call everything. He didn't want to give the red card to Casemiro. I mean, that's a handball. How do you miss that in live action? Unless he's going to roll it because he was putting his arm down to brace it, but he's moving his arm to the ball, like intentionally. There's deliberate intent there in the way he's moving his hand there. And they're not going to give it. They're not going to give it. They're ruling that he was putting his hands on the ground. That is just... God. Defenders, this is ultimate cheat code now. Just, it's in the laws of the game if you're trying to brace yourself to as you're going down. It's not a penalty, but that's the second one. I think Arsenal or somebody a couple weeks ago, there's a similar one where defenders are putting their arm in the way of a cross or a shot. as they go to the ground, and then they just put their hand on the ground like, oh, I'm just bracing myself. It's part of the laws of the game. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. 2 in like 5 minutes. 2 in like 5 minutes. And now the sub that comes to course correct for the Casemiro situation. Wout Weghorst comes on, Scott McTominay, or Wout Weghorst comes off. Scott McTominay comes on. That is... two that should be penalties for me in the course of, 5 minutes. They are very quick to send off Casemiro, but not so quick to give penalties. Really makes you think. Somebody sent me a link to a video recently, and I don't know how accurate this was because it's one of those like Instagram reels where it's just somebody blabbering on, much like I do here on the channel, about what the Premier League table would look like without VAR. Now this is before Liverpool destroyed United 7-0, so this has probably very much been corrected since then, but at the time that I saw this video, it actually said without VAR, if you just took out any VAR changes that have happened throughout the season, how it would have affected the results, Liverpool would actually be in a relegation battle right now without VAR, which is hilarious because nobody has cried about decisions that other teams have got more than Jurgen Klopp. So it's worked. He's getting all the calls now. Liverpool are not in threat of relegation because they whined enough to get VAR on their side. Apologies to Liverpool fans. I don't try to spark stuff up. I'm not trying to create any banter or anything like that, especially after they destroyed United 7-0. There's nothing really to talk about on our side. Just frustrating. All right, second half's underway. United's on the Peacock feed today, so there was no halftime show for this match. Just like the little commercials and little video diaries they do about Premier League history kind of ran throughout halftime, and a little highlight packets from the first half with little like inspirational music playing over the top of it, but no commentary. I did a quick Twitter search just to kind of see if anybody else was talking about the penalty calls on Twitter, and it's probably mostly United fans, but I mean everybody's just like up in arms about the handball one more so than the Bruno one, which to me, the Bruno one was the one that was more, in my interpretation, straightforward of a penalty because slides through Bruno, just completely clears him out, and then gets the ball. The second one, I understand the interpretation. I understand why the referee decided not to award penalty because he's going by the part of the law of the game that says if a player is like bracing themselves as they're going to the ground and it strikes their hand, it's not a handball offense. But in this case, and the more I saw it on replay throughout the halftime period, that's not what was happening in the situation. He was already on the ground and then moved his arm in the way of the ball to block the ball. Like it was as clear and deliberate of a handball as you can be, and the way he kind of pulled his arm away and hit it behind him. I mean, if you're able to pull your arm away and hide it after you get struck, you're not bracing yourself with that arm, correct? Because if he was bracing himself with that arm and he pulled it away once the ball struck his arm, he should have fallen and broken his face and just smacked his face on the ground, and that didn't happen. But I actually saw like somebody actually tweeted that they didn't even do a VAR check on it. Oh my God, almost an own goal for United. Holy crap, that was so close. That would have been just the perfect way for this crap show of a match to go, for us to give up an own goal, but oof, cleared off the line by Wan-Bissaka. He has bounced back brilliantly. I gotta say, the last like month, 2 months, the resurrection of Wan-Bissaka has been fun to watch for sure. Holy crap. But that would have been so typical of this match for us to concede on an own goal. I'm going through and editing the vlog from last night's Nashville SC CF Montreal match. We upgraded the club, and every time we do it, I'm like, this is the best decision possible. I can't believe we didn't buy our tickets there originally. And the reason we didn't buy tickets originally in club is, one, I don't think we knew that it was going to be all-inclusive food and beverage, because we definitely would have done it if we did that. But the other part of it was, I think, like, I was a little bit worried, like, oh, club, you know, that's not going to have the atmosphere. That's going to be kind of more corporate, hoity-toity. Not going to be the same fun, kind of raucous atmosphere you'd get in kind of other parts of the stadium. But it, you know, not necessarily raucous, but it really keeps the atmosphere going that you feel in other parts of the stadium over there in club. Now the upper deck clubs, like the more expensive ones, more corporate ones, might be a little different. Valkyrie Club, we haven't been in the Valkyrie Club yet, so I don't know what it's like in that one, but they're right next to us. The seats are right next to us, and it's all the same kind of atmosphere. People are into the match and stuff like that, so that's good to see, and an encouraging thing that'll continues to make me want to switch the club for future seasons, because it's got all the vibes you need for the match, with all-inclusive food and beverage, and the opportunity to kind of duck inside and hang out inside for a little while if you need to, like we did last night when it was cold and raining. But definitely will be upgrading the club at the first opportunity we get. And Anthony Taylor's called another foul in Manchester United, right in the perfect spots that James Ward-Prowse would like the ball to be set up. I wonder if they're consulting on this. I wonder if Anthony Taylor's like, "Hi James, where would you like me to call a foul at? What's the best spot for you to shoot at?" Because that really seems to keep happening. "Hi James, where's the best spot for you to line up the ball, lad? Let me know and I'll call a foul there." That's what I assume Anthony Taylor sounds like. Off the post, holy crap. Oh man, De Gea had no shot at that. If that was a little bit lower, that's going in. Don't worry about it. Anthony Taylor will set you up with another one, James. You'll get another crack at the apple. Bite at the apple? What's the phrase? I don't know. Oh my God! Oh, Bruno off the post. Oh my God. That had to be it. Oh my God. I mean, for me, that's 3 penalties you could give there, because he gets the ball, but then he just completely scissors Garnacho's legs. Like, you can... Winning the ball isn't the be-all, end-all on fouls. If you win the ball and also foul the player, it's still a foul. I mean, the announcer just said, "Oh, it's a good defense. That's just part of football." Like, potentially snapping a dude's ankle is not just part of football. That's a foul. 0-0. Final score. There was a crap match. That's honestly probably... feel almost a little bit worse than I do after the Liverpool game last week, because the Liverpool one was just like everything that could have went wrong. It's just a kind of a fluky result. Sucks to lose to your rival that badly, obviously, but that was one where you can kind of just wash it away, put it behind you, learn from your mistakes and move on. This one, we're now going to be without Casemiro for 3 matches. Definitely feels like with the 2 penalty shouts, we had maybe 3 penalty shouts, we had the match kind of taken away from us a little bit, so that was frustrating on a completely different level than the Liverpool match was frustrating. But not going to let it drag us down. It's Sunday Funday. We got a lot more stuff to get into and do. We're going to watch a movie. We're going to watch at least one. Maybe I'll get 2 in. I mean, we got a while. It's only 11 o'clock. I might get 2 movies in. Who knows? So next up, I'm going to figure out a movie to watch. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to give a quick review of it. And we'll go from there. We'll see what else we'll get done today. And you know, the only fair way to choose what movie we watch today, because there's probably 5 or 6 that I would put in the mix of Oscar movies that I might enjoy and might want to see. So I'm going to put them all on the wheel, and we're going to let the wheel decide. The wheel is just, the wheel is fair, and the wheel will let us know what is best. Let's go to the wheel. Just finished The Fabelmans. It's pretty good. It's definitely not Spielberg's best work, which maybe is a testament to like the kind of thin year that's overall going on with movies, that this would get a Best Picture nom and kind of be in the mix for a bunch of stuff. I stick with my prediction, though, of Judd Hirsch winning Best Supporting Actor. He's only in the movie for like 7 minutes, but he comes in like a whirlwind. Just, it's a great performance. He kind of is a little bit of a catalyst for sparking things that push the movie forward. It's probably like a 3 stars out of 5, I'd say. Probably 3.5, maybe. Nah, probably just 3. Probably about 20 minutes too long. I think you could have gotten through his young childhood quicker. If you don't know what the movie's about, it's basically like a biopic of Steven Spielberg's life. I'm sure some stuff's changed and it's kind of dramatized a little bit, but it's basically his life story told out of how he found his love for film and making films as a child and stuff like that. But the young childhood part of the movie probably could have sped along a little faster, but What's up? I'm doing my review of Fabelmans.
I don't even know what that is.
That didn't surprise me.
What? You said it doesn't surprise you?
Yeah, it's high art cinema. You're not a follower of high art cinema. You just like to watch bad TV.
I watch the same TV that you watch.
No, you watch that show that's really dumb.
And what's that?
What's the one you like that's really dumb? You say it. Oh, Handmaid's Tale. That's the one. That's a really bad show.
You just don't like it because... Yeah, keep my mouth shut.
Anyway, we got time to watch at least one more movie before the ceremony tonight, so let's spin the wheel and see what it's going to direct us towards next. Just finished Everything Everywhere All at Once. Really good movie, really entertaining, really enjoyed it. I'm glad to see a movie like that getting recognized by Oscar, because typically sci-fi genre type films don't get the love from Oscars. So it's that, you know, I kind of talked about how I didn't think the Oscar nominations were all that great, you know, these days, and it's kind of sad, crappy movies that nobody wants to watch, but that one's kind of the exception. And based on like the Vegas odds right now, it's heavy favorites to win like a lot of stuff tonight. I, didn't predict it to win anything but Best Picture. I kind of said it might be one of those where other people campaign better and some of the old standards of the way voting works in Hollywood will kind of overtake it in some of the other categories. But, the Vegas odds have it down for pretty much to win everything. I predicted it to win Best Picture, so we'll see how that comes. I'd probably give it 3.5, maybe 4 stars. I thought all the performances were really good. Jamie Lee Curtis, I see why she got nominated. I see why all of them got nominated. It's really funny. Waymond has the exact same voice from when he was a child actor. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It was stunning. It just kept catching me off guard throughout the whole movie. Like, you'd think from the time he was a child actor to now, his voice would like deepened or sound more adult now. But he sounds exactly like he could go back and like play like an animated version of his previous young characters that he played in his childhood. It was hilarious. The one thing that was interesting about this movie, and I said like really excited that a movie like this got nominated, it gave me major Scott Pilgrim vs. the World vibes. Like, it felt like a very similar movie. The kind of weird quirkiness mixing in sort of like the abstract stuff in there. So it's interesting for a movie like that to like be so celebrated and get all these nominations. And Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was kind of like not well received. I thought it was awesome. It's one of my favorite movies. I love Edgar Wright. Thought that was a really great adaptation of the manga series. But it was interesting just to see the kind of changes in the landscape of Oscar, that a movie like this could get nominated, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was like nothing. I think I've got enough time to squeeze in one last movie. I may overlap with the start of the ceremony, but I really want to see Tar, because that's the one I've heard the most good things about that I haven't watched yet out of the ones on the list. So no wheel this time. I'm just going to throw on Tar real quick, try to get it in before the ceremony starts, but if it overlaps with the ceremony, so be it. Stay tuned. My review of Tar coming up shortly. So I just watched a really awkward red carpet interview with Hugh Grant, and it reminded me that I saw Glass Onion this year, so that's another movie I actually saw this year. It was good. It wasn't as good as the first Knives Out. It was a little bit more predictable than the first movie, but I still enjoy the Benoit Blanc character. Everybody in it performed really well. Batista was freaking awesome in that movie. But the march to Oscars continues. I'm finishing up Tar. We're almost done, I think. I don't know what's happening. It doesn't really seem to have much of a narrative, unless I'm missing something, but we'll keep going. Alright, so while I'm simultaneously watching the end of Tar and the Oscars, I'm also cooking dinner, because we've got some Blue Apron to go. This one looks pretty good. Steak and caper butter. Look at these Brussels sprouts. I think these are going to turn out really, really good. Can I plate it like this? Alright, right out of the gates, I am 0 for 2 / maybe 0 for 3 on Oscar predictions, because I can't remember if I officially logged my animated feature prediction. I think I might have said Marcel the Shell but Pinocchio won Best Animated Feature. Then they went right out of the gates, hardcore, back-to-back, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, back-to-back. And I can't even be mad that I'm over for 2 because they both came from a movie I watched today, and they were both incredible in their roles. First off, I'm going to mispronounce this. I had to get my phone to be able to read it because I'm going to mispronounce it. I'm sorry. Ki Huai Kwan, better known as Data, better known as Short Round, better known as Wayman from Everything Everywhere All at Once, won for Best Supporting Actor, deservedly so. He was incredible in that movie. I should have mentioned that earlier in my review of that. I still kind of think Judd Hirsch was like really good in The Fabelmans in a shorter period of time, but I mean, they gave Wayman a lot to work with and he killed it. His speech was incredible, like so amazing to see him win that Oscar. Best Supporting Actress, my second choice, the one I said I thought probably might win, but that I was kind of going a little roundabout way of saying there was going to be a makeup Oscar for Angela Bassett. I was wrong. They went with the front runner, the person that I think probably deserved it was Jamie Lee Curtis. Incredible speech from her. Wow, good start to the Oscars. I'm feeling the love. I'm feeling the cinema. Cinema is back. It's incredible so far. I now think Everything Everywhere All at Once is sweeping everything, so all my predictions are going to be wrong because I basically thought that it was going to get boxed out and only win Best Picture. It's winning everything. Taters are boiling, steaks are grilling, Oscars are on, and Tar's almost over. It's been a good day. All right, here's our finished product. Brussels sprouts probably get a little bit too toasty, but everything else looks good. Perfect night. Perfect dinner to celebrate cinema. All right, so I just finished Tar. I can see why everybody thinks like that Cate Blanchett's a shoe-in to win Best Actress for that role because she's basically the whole movie. Like it's a one woman show in that movie. But as a movie itself, I didn't think it was anything particularly special. Like I was in and out because I was cooking. I was also starting to watch the Oscars. I don't 100% know what the narrative of the movie was. Like, I don't really know what the full story of the movie was. I guess I'll go back and look at like the IMDb page and try to like reread the plot to see what I was kind of missing. Because it seemed like she was like, it was almost like, a lot of people compared it to Whiplash, but it didn't have that, she didn't have that foil, unless I missed it. Like that, she didn't have the Miles Teller vice. And I also think like, I was thinking as I was watching it, I was like, this got celebrated because it's a movie about like the fancy arts, like the music, the cello, the Mozart's Fifth, and I was like, you could take the same exact basic plot and make it into like a football movie or a sports movie or anything like that, and people would be like, oh, it's just a dumb sports movie. Like I was feeling like weird like Any Given Sunday vibes from this movie, but it was about, you know, playing instruments and not playing football. So I don't know. Didn't connect with me that well, but she's great in it, and I can see why everybody says she's gonna win Best Actress. So dinner's ready though, so let's eat.
And why do you say things that
I
would
want
make
to
me
be
force
frozen.
you?
And if they
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's try dinner.
So be it. I will wake up
Bone
stronger
apple teas.
than ever because I will have used that time to figure out exactly why I died and what moves I could have used to defend myself better now that I know what hold he had.
Did you want some moo-moos? You can't have
I don't
any.
understand.
None for you. Potatoes.
They honoring
You can't
Martin
have
Luther
potatoes.
King, but he didn't even work.
Brussels.
I understand how you feel, Michael. I really do. So would it be helpful to give everyone the
This is
day
good,
off?
but I say it's about average of our Blue Aprons we've had lately.
These people, that is the last
Not in the top
thing
tier.
they would want
We've had
is day
a
off.
really good run on Blue Apron, I would say. Like, they've been really good lately. This one's good. Not the best. It's pretty
This is something we
standard.
would make normally.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Well,
But Blue Apron has been killing it outside of this one lately. And this isn't bad. I don't want to make it sound like this is bad. This is just like a...
We like Blue Apron to try stuff that we don't
I think that's a
normally
great way to honor Ed.
have.
Exactly.
And this is something that
Steak, potatoes, and a greens is pretty standard. Something I would cook if I just bought stuff at the groceries. But it is still tasty.
Well, we are talking about how to properly honor a man who gave his life as regional manager of this.
If there was one common theme among the three movies I watched today, it's that they were all about 20 to 30 minutes too long. Like Tar, the last one I watched, like the first, it was almost like everybody complains in superhero movies that they're all origin stories. We spend too long on the origin story. The first 20 to 30 minutes was like her doing interviews and like talking to people that was basically creating her aura and telling you who she was. So the first like 40 to 30 minutes of that movie was spent explaining, telling you who Tar was. And it's like, it didn't really need that much. Like, she's a great conductor. It would take 5 minutes to like let us know she's this great established conductor. We don't need like 30 to 40 minutes like of her sitting there being interviewed explaining it. Like the Fablemans, like I mentioned, like could have cut out some of like the stuff in his younger days. Everything All at Once, I don't know what part you would have cut necessarily, but there was definitely like it dwelled on stuff too long to get to the end game. So like all three movies could have been like 20 to 30 minutes shorter and would have been way better. That's the theme of Oscars for me this year. Movies are too long. Also, another theme for this year is like there's two directors that I'm a big fan of that poop movies out that I was really looking forward to that just kind of came and went and disappeared and aren't really a part of the ceremony at all. They aren't nominated for anything. It was David O. Russell's Amsterdam, which came out and apparently was not great from the reviews I saw, so I never watched it. And then Babylon for Damien Chazelle. That just, there was big trailers came out. It was hyped, had a large, like really famous cast, and just came out and nobody really like got behind it. I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's bad, but it just, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, is it, that one looked like it was like guaranteed to be like in the mix for like a lot of Oscar stuff, and it just like nothing happened with Babylon. I don't know what happened there. I do kind of like wonder, like, is there like a Margot Robbie fatigue with that? Because like she's been like all over the place for a while. Maybe people are getting tired of her. Is she getting like that? Is she falling victim to like what I think is also happening to Jennifer Lawrence, where like we got high on these actresses at a certain point in time and now we're just like, we've seen enough. I don't know. I'm gonna watch both of those because they're both easily streamable. I like both those directors, Damien Chazelle and David O. Russell. Although David O. Russell hasn't made a good movie since Silver Linings Playbook, which is one of my favorite movies of all time though. But I don't know. Weird year for the Oscars is the consensus that I'm going with right now. What do you think? What was your favorite picture? What was your movie of the year? He's very private with his thoughts on cinema. Totally forgot The Last of Us finale is tonight. Gonna watch that while I'm also streaming the Oscars on my laptop. Women Talking just won for Best Adapted Screenplay. Everything Everywhere All at Once won for Best Original Screenplay. They're going to clean house. They're winning everything at this point in time. I was completely wrong about my predictions on that regard. But I hadn't seen any of the movies when I made my predictions, so I mean, you can't blame me. They just did the little package where they like presented Top Gun as its Best Picture nominee. Val Kilmer probably shouldn't have won, but should have nominated Val Kilmer for Best Supporting Actor. Could have thrown him a bone there because he was breathtaking and incredible in his little brief scene there. He was as good as Judd Hirsch was.
What?
I found this and this.
Last of Us spoilers from here on out.
Oh, cool.
Ashley Johnson portraying Ellie's mom.
Man, have you ever played
Chef's
this?
kiss.
Bible? It's a word game.
So the Daniels won Best Director for Everything Everywhere All at Once, so the sweep is fully on for that movie. I was completely wrong in my prediction. I thought it would get a little backlash, and sci-fi genre of it all would hurt it in some of the categories, but kudos to those people. It was, of the three movies I watched today, it was probably the best movie I watched, the most entertaining movie I watched. Definitely better than Tar. Tar was like, God. Blanchett, she was great in it, but, you know, was not an entertaining movie. Fablemans was just fine. Everything Everywhere All at Once is deserving of what it's getting right now, so good job, Academy. Brendan Fraser just won for The Whale. Kudos to him. I haven't even seen it yet, but I'm so happy for him. He's been through so much, you know, he deserves it. Who did I say was going to win that? I thought Austin Butler was going to win it. I'm glad that little turd didn't win it, because he's still doing this weird thing where he's talking in the Ellis accent when he's like on the red carpet and stuff like that. So he's being a turd. Brendan Fraser, you earned it. I'm gonna watch The Whale just to make sure I see that performance. Stay tuned. I will have a vlog reviewing The Whale coming soon. Anna de Armas, The Whale. Anna de Armas Blonde. That movie was terrible. Watched it for 5 minutes, had to turn it off. I think we're getting... Has to be Kate Blanchett here.
I want to be a good mom again.
Has to be Kate Blanchett here. I mean, it's... The whole movie Tar was just based around her. Michelle Williams, nominated for Fablemans. She was great in that. I don't think I mentioned that in my review earlier. She was incredible in that movie. She was maybe the best part of that movie. Paul Dano was the worst part of that movie. Like, he's too young, / he looks too young to be the character he was trying to play. Michelle Yeoh's probably winning this now that I think about it, though, because, like, they're winning everything.
No matter what, I still want to be here with you.
She was great. That movie was great. I loved that movie.
I will always want to be here with you.
Kind of anticlimactic ending. It just kind of like out of nowhere ended. Like, I feel like it had like 3 endings because it's been like 3 chapters, and like the last ending was like, that's it. That's the one that ending.
And the Oscar
Who's it gonna be?
goes to
Who's it gonna be?
Michelle Yeoh.
Wow, upset. Upset. Wow. She earned it though. She was great in that movie. This movie's sweeping everything. I was completely wrong. My prediction was that this movie was kind of going to be like the high favorite coming in. Was going to lose everything, and they've won everything. Does that mean that, like, my prediction that they'll win Best Picture is going to be where they get upset? Is it going to be the opposite? Because I said they were going to, like, lose everything, and they'd, like, say, oh man, they lost everything. We got to throw some votes to everything all at once's way, and they'd win Best Picture. Could Fablemans sneak in and steal Best Picture? Or All Quiet on the Western Front? I've heard some people saying that might win Best Picture. Ugh. Just give everything to this movie, because that was the best movie I watched today. Congrats to Michelle Yeoh. Here we go. Instant reaction.
Everything.
Yep, knew it. It swept everything. Blowout for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Deservedly so. Deservedly so from what I saw of this year's movies.
Everything Everywhere All at Once won 7 Oscars tonight for actor in a supporting role,
7.
actress in a supporting role, original screenplay, film editing, directing, actress in a leading role, and Best Picture.
I mean, they swept. I think they swept all the main categories except for Brendan Fraser winning for The Whale. Short round and Harrison Ford get to reunite on stage. What a beautiful moment. Wow. Wow. The magic of cinema. Alright, that does it. Phenomenal night for the arts and cinema. Not a great day for Manchester United. Just an okay day for The Last of Us. The finale was a little so-so to me. Spoiler alerts here. I didn't like that the finale just straight up made Joel like a straight up murderer. Like he just was outright killing people without rhyme or reason in the final episode. In the game, as I recall, it's been a year since I played it, but as I recall, like the Fireflies are more outright villains, so he's kind of justified in killing them in the game, whereas in this, he's just like, psh, 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 psh. And the finale also kind of just like, I guess the point was that like, he's grown to love Ellie as his own daughter, so he was more protective of her, whereas like the whole mission of the season was to get to the point they got to get her to the Fireflies, and then he's just like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore, and just killed them all and like took her back and went back to live with Tommy and Tommy's little commune or whatever. Also, it's kind of dumb that the whole season started with like Marlene, I believe, sending Joel and Ellie on this mission, and then they get there and she's like, oh hi, I'm here too. I managed to get here. Sorry. You probably didn't need to go on this whole journey because I got here on my own, but whatever. Still an entertaining show. Pedro Pascal, still a great performance. Bella Ramsey, still a great performance, but a little underwhelming for a finale. When the episode ended, I was like, is that it? That was the season finale? But whatever. We'll be back. Enjoyed the first season. I'll definitely watch, as it goes forward. Spoiler alerts, spoiler alerts, spoiler alerts. I haven't played the second game, but I do know the big thing that happens in the second game. And I kind of wonder if some of the stuff they're doing with Joel in the TV show is to almost demonize him to justify what's to come. I'll leave it at that. Look at all of Jessica's jeans. Look how fun and organized they are. Thanks for watching. There's going to be more content to come as always. Subscribe to the channel with the bell turned on for notifications. I gotta tell you, the one person who's really mad that people watch these videos but don't subscribe, Oli. He gets so angry when people don't subscribe, so help him out. It's not for me, it's for him. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. My friends, I can still feel you here. Is that a song? I think so. Spice Girls?